Okay. What are you drinking there?
Tea, of course.
Tea? What kind of tea?
Green tea. It's my crack. I do not know how to. Yeah, I do not know how to live without the substance. It's called Basilur tea book. And they're made, and it's very specific volume 3. They have boxes that are made in the shape of hardcover books, and the bags of tea of loose leaf teas, are inside of them.
Okay. Later on, when we're done, you're gonna have to send me a picture of this, and I'm gonna have to find.
By all means.
Because
I can actually yes. Still, picture would help. I was going to say that I can actually show it to you right now, but it doesn't matter.
I love the fact that in the background there. So people who are listening to this in this first minute here, I'm talking to Sonya right now, and we're doing a FaceTime that I'm recording this from, and she's got books in the background.
I've got them. Yes.
That is so awesome. You guys got to know about World Reading Club, my website, worldreadingclub.com. You should know that I'm a big nerd about books. I love books. So, and then she just said that the tea is shaped like a hardcover book. That's fascinating. So, Sonya, are we using last names here? People are going to be able to find you? Because I feel like I want to show off that I know how to pronounce your last name.
Absolutely. My last name is Petrosova. Petrosova. But I think, yes, Sonya Petrosova on social media. Not that I maintain it, but I absolutely always answer people that write to me. The names of both of my official accounts are right now Sonya Fix Hypnotherapy. Fix because it's my late father's last name, and because it allows me to state my main premise from which I work right away. No fixing, only integration. Yeah, the premise is huge. I want it known right away. If you're looking for a fix, for another proof in my mind that you're broken, I don't think I can help.
You see,
that's
even a form of dehypnotizing itself by standing that ground, by making that foundation.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really all about it. Yeah, the whole idea of we are flawed, and of what is it called in Christianity? The first sin, the first sin, the original sin. Yeah. That whole idea I found the most damaging.
Sonya, I'm starting to get
big part of
my that you think about religion here.
No, that sounds like
From the
yeah, that sounds like it. However, I said no, but yeah, you're right. It's just where our conversation went. But yeah. Coming back to what I wanted to say, big part, I think, of my work is to bring the person. It's all of my work. To bring the person to full realization of how beautiful, amazing, full of untapped resources they are. And just realize what that certain things have kept them from fully accessing them, and learn to access them.
You really are like a flower child. You're like a hippie. What is?
Really? That is the most surprising thing. Okay. I'll have to think about that.
I don't even know if I have a position to stand on to call anybody a hippie. I'm not even sure I even know what it really is. It just sounded so soft and loving and inviting and like transformational. It just made me think of like flower children or something. I can imagine where the sunlight is coming in through your window that there was a little yellow flower in your hair.
Oh my. I thank you.
Or a crown of flowers, like you were seeing those wreaths flower wreath.
Wonderful. That's probably my earphones that are also helping you think of them.
Maybe.
Fun. Love it. And, and the long hair that is parted in the middle probably does not hurt.
Yes.
Come to think about it, I do paint a picture.
Giving me 70s vibes. Definitely.
Love it.
I mean, I was born in the 70s, but yeah, I think that's a good approach. First of all, the whole idea of not wanting to support the idea in people that they're broken and that they need to be fixed is a really good foundation to stand on. So for people that don't know, we're going to be talking about clinical hypnosis, and Sonya, we met less than a week ago, and she said, she calls it out in the wild. I've never met any hypnotist really out in the wild that I've gone to school with or that I've talked to on the phone or anything. Actually, you know what? Let me take that back. So, no, actually I haven't. Never mind. So I don't take it back. I almost made a mistake because there was a guy. I went to go live in China, and this guy was at the HMI, and he went back to China also, and so we connected on WeChat. But we met on the HMI alumni
Still on the
page.
HMI.
Yeah, the alumni page. So never mind. I never met him in the wild. I almost thought that I've had so many adventures. And so, what made you decide to go to HMI in the first place? By the way, it's Hypnosis Motivation Institute. So if you hear me talking about HMI, I'm just saying it's Hypnosis Motivation Institute. I'm not an affiliate with them. I don't get paid by them for anything. I haven't seen anybody over there for a long time. And so I'm not promoting them just for the sake of it. I'm talking about them because I really like the school. And it's at hypnosis.edu. And Sonya's a graduate as well. I graduated well before she did in 2006. And so, Sonya, when did you graduate, and start from the beginning of what made you decide to go even do that in the first place?
Short answer. Sounds like a highway sign. That's what made me. That's what made me go do it.
No,
but cool? But taking it back a little bit. Oh, sorry, you were saying something about
this. Go ahead. I'll talk about that later. Please continue.
Yeah, but taking it back, I was in architecture for years and years, and the only reason I left is I was drafting. I was using this computer program called CAD, computer-aided design. I had perhaps one meeting with clients in a week. I had perhaps a few conversations in passing with our contractors, and we did sit in the open office situation. So we did communicate a little bit with each other while we were working. But after a while, nonetheless, I found myself talking to my program, just having full-on conversations with it. I have decided that I'm not going to wait until it answers me, until it begins answering.
Wow.
In other words, that's a silly way of saying that I needed to work with people. This is where my I'm going to sound funny, energy lays. I am energized by interacting with people. So that's the only reason I left it. Otherwise, it was amazing. It was feeding my other love, a big love of puzzles. I love puzzles. I want to do things. I want to create things, and I want to actually solve things. So in architecture, you have constraints. You have a huge amount of constraints when it comes to building code, and you have to keep in mind many regulations, and yet create something that is aesthetically pleasing, but most importantly, that serves the purpose of the client. That's the person So all of that together, it's a cool, interesting puzzle. I loved solving them. So after I left architecture and I did like just odd works, all connected with people, I guess I kept that in mind. I remember taking absolutely random. I lived in New York and I moved to Los Angeles. I had small children and not a large circle. So I was looking things up on a meetup, like where to go. And I remember going like blindly to a meetup where an NLP practitioner from Russia was demonstrating the abilities of neuro-linguistic programming. And I was floored. I saw a person lose a weight of years and years and years of awful phobia right in front of my eyes. He came down from that stage, like visibly lighter. So I was impressed, and I was looking for classes, I guess. I'm saying that preface because I ended up actually noticing the school in HMI from the side, and using the fact that the world stopped during quarantine as my excuse. Immediately, first day the quarantine, the place where I worked at closed. And on the same day that I learned about it, I was on the phone, with HMI. Wow. The decision was, and I had no idea it was this ready, but it was ready. And when I spoke with the admissions officer there, I opened an account. I went to open an account on their website, and I found out that I have an account for like many years.
Wow!
Like it had my old email. It's like, so my initial interest in NLP brought me to them years and years prior. And again, I'm only assuming. I don't know exactly what, but so that was cute. I found it gorgeous and wonderful, and I did not have any second thoughts about joining and making this into something I do. I mean, I told you all of my odd jobs were decidedly with people, like working with people. And you talk to a lot of people. Yeah. And I have this, like air about me where people want to share stuff often. And it was giving me a bit of frustration that I cannot just help. Again, I know it helps hugely when you're heard and seen.
Right.
I know to some other people it helps hugely when you're given advice to, but that's not. It didn't seem enough. It didn't seem satisfying. And here with hypnotherapy, I see how lives can be changed just from having a conversation with me. Yeah. I'm talking about TV might crack. No, that's crack. That's crack. That's amazing. Yeah. So that's a long and short of it.
I can agree with something about the atmosphere that you create, because it even permeates through technology. Because when I first met you, automatically, before I even knew, I think our conversation, because we met on Zoom, and our conversation I was already really magnetized, just drawn in right away, and I just was speaking so much. I think I even said something like, you know what, this is kind of rare, but I said, I need to stay communicated with you regardless of what happens with this business deal that we're doing. You
did. Yeah. You did. I really appreciate it. It feels wonderful. And yeah, you really did. It was right away. You're like, we have to know each other.
Yeah. And so that's just lending to what you just said, that people tend to kind of want to open up to you. And then also, but And you're right. So what I was thinking too, people do feel good when they're acknowledged, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they're listened to. And, being listened to is a form of acknowledgement. But also sometimes people just feel like they need to vent. But then what comes after that? And you're saying that, using clinical hypnosis, you can really actually take that a step further and create a change.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that for me became another way to satisfy my love of puzzles. So you have tools now, like I have tools now to actually solve the puzzle of a human condition. No, that's too loud of a statement. I have tools to solve a puzzle of a human state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Help people figure out how to achieve the wanted state intention. That to me is everything.
I don't know if saying the human condition is going too far. I mean, so many humans are in the same state, so it probably it amounts to a condition. I mean, the things that...
in a way. I mean, it's just like I said, I'm a Leo. The world, I don't think that the world revolves around me. I know it. It just does. Okay. So yeah, I crack myself up anytime I put a loud statement like that.
I mean, you say it so confidently and calmly. It's almost difficult not to believe.
Right. So yeah, there's that. And to prove your point that I'm truly thinking this way, the program that I'm working on, I almost named it How to Human. Now, the book that I'm going to write is probably going to be called How to Human.
How to Human. Do you think people forgot how to human?
I think we were never given a manual.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
And so we have this beautiful opportunity that is called life to figure out what we are, what we're best at. And I think that it's really cool that when we have help in the process of figuring it out.
Yeah, speaking of help in figuring it out, I mean, back to the sign. Because I remember I was in California even just a couple of years ago. I went there for maybe 3 months. So I was in Florida and I drove to California, I think at the end of February or beginning of March. And I stayed there till about, or maybe it was February. Anyway, I was there till about May or something like that. And I remember driving and seeing the sign and just thinking, that's really incredible that they have that sign there. But then I remembered also because, HMI is recognized by the Department of Education. So that's why they have the EDU designation, because you can't, I don't know if you know that, but schools can't have a .edu unless it's recognized by the department. Those are restricted for state-sanctioned schools in the United States. I don't know if state-sanctioned is the right term, but officially recognized by the Department of Education. And so they have this big sign. I mean, I know some people can adopt a highway and get signs and things like that, but that's different. I mean, it was right on the exit. And when you saw that sign, at the time when you saw that, did you know, or did you recall at the time that you had, here's the question. Did you know that you had already had contact with HMI before, like you said when you went to go fill out your profile? Or you didn't find out until you went on to create the profile?
I had no idea. I really found out when I went to create the profile. I entered an email and the system said, "Hey, this email is already here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, that sign impressed me because it was so different. It was so logical and at the same time so creative and so unusual. Like it's cheeky and awesome and serious looking at the same time.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's a big highway sign, like right there on the exit, and
Yeah, it's designed just like a highway sign. Like you would see a sign for the city, for the exit.
It's like those signs that you see. It's an official sign because it looks like the ones that you would see where it says like a rest area, next exit, like a rest area half a mile away, or welcome center, right? It's like one of those signs. It's an official fixture. It's part of the of the community, and the campus has been there for so long, and even I went to go visit. I had no idea that they went completely online because I went to the campus and I just happened to be there, and there was a lady who was locking up, and I asked her about it, and she says, "Oh no, yeah, we're completely online. I'm just here doing," I forget what she said she was doing, but kind of made me a little bit sad. But I know that recently I've been
made me a lot sad.
Yeah, you didn't get to go on campus, right? You did it online.
Exactly. So it made me a lot bit sad. I did not get to experience the actual, uncurated in any way human interaction. There was a whole bunch of beautiful human interaction while we were studying on Zoom. The whole world was on Zoom at that point. They started doing that with the quarantine. Like with me, I was probably the first cohort that was fully on Zoom. Not probably, I was definitely first cohort that was fully on Zoom. Everybody before me has spent at least some time in school.
Yeah.
And and I visited it in person just by almost by accident, for completely different reasons than just going to school and meeting people.
So when did you start and when did you graduate? Because I don't think I heard that part, at least for this conversation.
Yes, that's because I don't like lying, and I also don't love remembering numbers. So my answer was rather vague, but it was the very first day when the world stopped, and the specific place where I worked at, it was a club, when that closed. So it was the very first day after that closed, I was on the phone with the school, and I started my classes almost right away. I mentioned it earlier. They start a new cohort every month now.
Yeah.
And
they still did. They
I
were
also
doing that
was
when the sessions were live.
Say that again.
They were doing that when the sessions were live too. They would have a new cohort starting every month.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right. Sorry. And the break in connection somehow made a break in my trail of thought.
But it was about the dates and about, because I was asking when you started, and you said it started when the world basically went offline, then you had to go online,
Yes. And I graduated in a year and some, also on Zoom, with all the exams being at a distance, with all the practice being at a distance. And immediately I started the AUS program.
Okay, right. Yes.
And that was also the very first. I just happened to be in the first of both. First cohort to be fully online, and first cohort to study in the second year.
Yeah, it was. They called it like a mind-body program, but it's an associate of science.
Yes, I don't know why they needed that one, but I guess it felt fun. But it's a very, very nicely put, rigorous program to familiarize you. Like you know how you're saying it. I'm a hypnotist, not hypnotherapist, because it sounds like you would be making a claim necessarily yours. But and that line of thinking was stopping quite a few people because they felt they needed to know, at least in theory, other modalities and talk therapy. Like at least have some understanding of how people work there. Yeah, and this is what this year provided. It's jam-packed with many, many, many different modalities of both talk therapy, somatic therapy, and everything around it. The idea of my main clientele is people that are currently in therapy.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, came from there. Yes, because often in therapy they do come to the question, like they had all their insights, they had all their revelations, and yet they still have to use willpower to act and act in the way they would like to act.
Right. So it's still a struggle. That there was no underlying behavioral impetus that was driving them to do it. Like there's a typical saying where people, you know what to do, but you're not doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I didn't like people having so much of this frustration, and I didn't like hearing people ask the same question often over and over again. The question is, now what? Okay, I figured it out. I know why I'm doing this. Now what? And I know that there are now a lot of very helpful talk therapy modalities that actually attempt to answer this question. It just happens that we with hypnotherapy has the most direct way to help them answer that specific question. Now what?
Yeah.
There.
So what can you tell me, of course, without revealing personal details, what was your first client session like? What kind of things were you dealing with?
First client session. That's funny that I cannot bring it up.
So mine was interesting. I'll tell you mine first while you think about that. What's really
tell
interesting
me, yes.
is I frequent bookstores, and at the time, Borders bookstore was still open, and I was at a Borders bookstore that was on the corner of, I think it was Sunset and Vine. I think there's I don't know what's there now, but for some reason, a lot of the Borders bookstores that closed up, they became like drugstores. And then I think that same drugstore chain is now closed. I'm not sure if it's Eckerd or Rite Aid or one of those closed down. But anyway, I was in this bookstore and I was frequenting the New Age and metaphysical section. And there were these two young ladies there that were reading a book about past life regression. And so I just said, that's interesting because I'm just now with the instructor, Michelle Guzzi, talking about past lives. And then they got all excited, said, really? You're a hypnotist? You can do this? You do past life regression? And it was also because it was the end of the, I was like nearing the end of 401 and starting 501, which, as you know, is the clinical residency portion. So where we had to start racking up hours of actually seeing clients and using hypnosis. And so both of them, they were really good friends. They signed up, we set a schedule, and they both came, one right after the other. One came in, went through a past life regression, the other one came in afterwards. They didn't talk to each other, in between there was really no time. The sessions were just like really locked. It was like something like one was at 3 and one was at 4, sharp, and they just came in and they had some really, really profound experiences, to the point where one of the young ladies reached out to me while I was still in China. And so mind you, this is over 20 years later. And she said, I'm glad I found you. I tried hypnotherapy with somebody else before, it didn't work. But, I was in China up until 2021. And so, I graduated from HMI 2006. So yeah, maybe 15 years later. But, and now we're friends on Facebook. She keeps in touch and she does some really cool things. But it was really interesting that it had that much of an impact. But those were my first 2 sessions, my first 2 ever clinical residency sessions on site at the clinic, because we had I don't know if you know, there's a clinic that's adjoined to the school. So
I do know, and that's what makes me so sad that I never got to use it.
So yeah, the school has, the class side, and then there's a whole clinic, whole hypnotherapy clinic, complete with a receptionist and everything. And it really gave it makes you feel like it's a really cool program. Like you have a receptionist, and you have these great furnished offices, and you don't have to pay that much. Like, it was really inexpensive. It really allowed you to start your practice if you wanted to there. And I was surprised that more people didn't use it. And like you were saying earlier, I think it might have been on the previous recording that I'm going to use as kind of like a trailer or pilot thing, but you were saying that, it takes a certain person. Like, not a lot of people are doing marketing or just out in the wild for whatever reason you're not seeing them. I don't know why, but a lot of people did not take advantage of that. Now, part of that is a lot of people did travel very far to get there. There were some people who like drove like hours actually to get there. So, I mean, I can get that part, but so do you remember now what your first sessions were? Did that come to mind?
Yeah, it's really cute. I'm a smoker. I'm smoking outside of the bar, and then and people are smoking with me. We're having I don't know how it was in like where you grew up. Where I grew up, smoking was the best way to vices unite. So it was the best way to even out the playing field and meet people you otherwise would not meet, and meet them actually when all of you took that moment away from whatever you're doing, and then just are staying in the moment and actually are open to communicating with others. So that was the cool part. That's why I love it so much.
They call it some people call it like a social lubricant or something like that.
Correct. They say that mostly about alcohol now.
Yeah.
But to me, that smoking was a social lubricant. And it was a social drain for me as well.
Sorry, I want to interrupt because something really funny came to mind. But I remember this guy, Mati. Mati, if you're listening, this is hilarious. Mati Baruch. He was from Israel, and he, sometimes some people mistranslate things. And so one time we were at a Starbucks in Studio City, and he was trying to use the term social lubricant, but he was like, it's a social masturbation. That's what he said.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. And also, I think this should be a name of some comedian's routine, like stand-up comic. No.
Yes. I'm speaking of that.
Social masturbation.
One more story that is funny. But I actually did my first stand-up comedy routine in California when I was visiting there. There's a friend named Craig Spivak who does stand-up comedy, and he was hosting at this place called The Fourth Wall. And I went, and somehow, for some reason, I don't know how I did it, but I actually killed it on stage. Like, people were actually like totally into it. At my first ever, I just decided I'll do the open mic and just cleaned up.
It was such an amazing experience. Wow.
It was great. And the messed up thing was I decided not to record it because I thought I was going to be bad, and it was just amazing. It was like, and everybody, my friend Craig was even like, so Craig, I'm going to send this to you, but he was even like, he's like, how? He's like, what are you, he's like, what is that all about? He's like, why? And I wish I would have recorded it, and I met a whole bunch of people because of that. But so
beautiful.
So you were saying you were smoking with these people outside of a bar. And
and they were my first clients, and two of them, it was three people. Two of them were stopped smoking while I was still smoking. It was I think at one point I even lit up a cigarette during the session itself. I was too nervous. It was helping at the time. Wow. Yes, and it did not get in the way. I actually had both of the experiences were positive, and they did report. I didn't do the fast stop smoking where you do it in one session. Because that one I knew by then that it's it backfires too easily. So yeah, I took my time, and they did not come back to it. So I was very, very building.
Did you ever take the course from John Melton, the smoking cessation course? Did you do that certification?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I had that certificate.
That's really cool. I mean, man,
I don't know what
later.
Oh, we had a break in the connection.
No, I said even all those years later, John Melton's course, and you know all the people like Cheryl O'Neill is still there, John Melton, Michelle Guzzi, you know.
Yeah.
It really left a mark on me. John McCarthy, who taught the NLP program, he was the head of that. I mean,
that guy I have not met.
Mark Gravel, he was there, but he passed away. I was on this show called Hypnosis.tv. It's probably the only thing you'll find if you search online for Navy SEAL training and hypnosis. And it was hosted by another instructor, and I am not sure why my mind is blanking on this, but anyway, you continue what you were saying, but it just kind of whenever I start reminiscing about it, it was such a great experience.
I'm sure of it. Now I want to know. I mean, all of those videos, Hypnosis TV, are actually in direct access online.
Yeah.
Like they're easily find. Yeah, searchable, findable. You know, they're not behind the paywall. It's no point. So yeah, I'm gonna go.
Her name is Lisa Mockenberg.
Yes, yeah. Love her.
Yeah,
Love her.
She was the host of Hypnosis.tv, and I was on a show with one of my clients, and it was titled Navy SEAL Training and Hypnosis. His name was Patrick Barry, and he at the time he was 46 years old, and he went to this program called SEAL Fit, which was put together by Navy SEALs, current and former Navy SEALs, and it was like a small mini version of the Hell Week that Navy SEAL candidates go through. So many guys who he was saying they were half his age, like 22, 23 years old, would go through this SEAL Fit program to prepare themselves to go to actual Navy SEAL training. And even him being 46 years old, he made it through the entire program, while there were a lot of guys who did the walk of shame. They left, they dropped out, even though it wasn't really Hell Week. It wasn't the actual program. So, I mean, it must have been a hell of a program. And he came to me, and we did hypnotherapy sessions to help him in combination with the intense training that he was doing to prepare for it. So, and that's what the discussion we had on the show.
Awesome. I definitely want to hear it. You hit the ground running, basically. Past life regression. I still have not done a single past life regression for a client. In practice, yes. For acquaintances, yes, because that it kind of it does not take any input from me. So I feel that is an okay thing to do with like people you have dual relationship with. Yeah, now, so you don't actually create a dual relationship this way.
Now, do you have all of your sessions? Have they all been in person, or did you start doing them like remotely by Zoom first?
Most of my sessions are remote.
Okay.
It's a rare situation where I actually have somebody in person. Okay. Something has to be unusual. And again, very unique circumstances.
Yes, of course.
The school went fully online on me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I never actually learned to do hypnosis in person. I didn't have to relearn. Okay, for people who worked in person, which is of course like it's a lot. I don't want to say easier, but because again I don't know, but it's closer and more doable. Now, okay, I'm trying to dance around the word easier, but it's easier to establish the connection with the person when like you are in one space, sitting with each other. Yes, but and obviously there was some challenge to switch to online. Other things had to come to play. Not for me. I only learned online. And then after a while, I would have a session in person here and there, and I would be surprised that, wow, you can actually touch a hand.
I actually think that the client from my very first sessions in my clinical residency, I know for a fact that the result wasn't as good as when we met in person, because we did it via a video chat, and I was in China and she was somewhere in the US. I don't remember where exactly, but she didn't say so. She paid me for the session and everything like that, but I knew, I felt, and so I only had her pay for one of the sessions that we did. We did a couple of them because I just knew, I was like, something about it, there was something when we were in person where there was some kind of material thread made of light that was connecting us and also her friend that was there. There was something that happened that in the physical
that's
presence,
almost tangible, right? That's almost tangible.
It was incredible. And it was like we were literally connected by some kind of thread, some mist of light while I was in the room. And I'm sitting 2 feet away from her. I'm sitting in the chair, and there's a recliner, and we're not making any physical contact. And I also made sure that, especially with the female clients, I never touched them in the session. So I kept my distance. But even then, there was something, like you said, there was almost tangible connection. But I know the same thing didn't happen. Also, I should have insisted on her putting in headphones on each ear, but she just laid her phone down and laid down on her couch or something like that where I could see her. But I really felt like I should have said, you know what, you need to put in the earbuds. It's going to be much better if my voice is in your ear and not coming from some speaker at a distance, So next time, I learned my lesson.
A lot of things come into play. But again, if you don't have to relearn, it's easier. Remember Jackie Chan? Was it Jackie Chan? With his glass of water and Coca-Cola? He was, that was his most favorite thing to say to new students. New students of anything, it still applies. Take a glass of water and attempt to fill it with Coke. It doesn't matter how much Coke you're going to put in that glass. The liquid is going to become more and more brown, but it's never going to be, or I don't know, at some point maybe, no, it's still going to be Coke with water.
Yeah.
It's just you can do more concentration, and there's a lot of spillage, and it takes a lot more effort and substance, right, to fill it with something that looks like Coke. Where instead, if you empty the glass and it's an empty glass, you don't have to relearn anything. Just drop the current knowledge, suspend the disbelief, we say, right? Suspend it. Just drop it for now and learn open. So I didn't have to suspend anything. I didn't have to drop anything. It was really the thing that I was learning.
You felt like the training that you did online transferred really well into doing live sessions.
Yeah, certainly.
I can see that.
It was, after online, it was, live sessions were easier. It's like my mom, when she was learning to drive, she drove some absolutely ridiculous, broken, insane automobile. So absolutely anything that she would try after was an easy drive.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If you study right away on the hard one,
That's interesting too, because HMI, they focus all on what they call practicums. So when we were in class, that's all from day one, we were practicing the hypnotic pattern on other people and having them practice it on us. And the very first day, actually, John McCarthy, the very first day of class, I got hypnotized. I was sitting in the front row. It was something that I decided to start doing. I don't know if I decided to start doing it then. A lot of things about me changed when I went to HMI, but I remember intentionally sitting in the front row in the middle where a lot of people, you know, when they go into a room, they sit in the back and they spread out. And people still do that to this day. I had to go to an aggressive driving course recently, and people just all sat as far away from the front as they could, and I'm sitting right there front and center in the middle. I was like, it's so easy. I was like, I have a seat easily. I'm just going to go sit in the front. And so the very first day, he asked anybody if they wanted to volunteer, and I was right up front and center, and he hypnotized me in front of the class, and I actually went into a hypnotic state. Like, he was just doing it for a demonstration, but he did the whole pattern, lifting and rising, higher and higher, lighter and lighter. This is light as a feather. My arm was doing this little pulsing thing, and the whole time I'm conscious of this, but I'm like, why is my arm moving? And then,
beautiful.
And deep sleep. And every time I say deep sleep, with your permission and your permission only, you go quickly, calmly, and deeply, and your physical body relaxes. That's why I remember, because I'm thinking, what is going on right now? And then he counted me out. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. And from that moment, I realized that I was living most of my life in a trance state, in a hypersuggestible state. And he actually helped me to come out of it. I realized I was like, wait a minute. This thing that he just counted me out into, that's normal? So, or at least that's awake. Because where I've been was in this basically somnambulistic, dream-walking state most of my life. And I found that it's a superpower, though, because it helps me to learn a lot of things, but I learned very quickly, but I wasn't filtering things, and I wasn't labeling them as this is survival or non-survival. This is useful, not useful. So it's one of the reasons why I've been a late bloomer with a lot of things in my life, because I was just swayed to and fro by all information. I was gullible, easily brainwashable, easily swayed to by information. I didn't behave and act on a lot of things, but it created a lot of internal tension that then created me to become more hypersuggestible, that then gave me more, you know, it was a loop. And when I realized that happened, that was amazing. And one more thing I'm going to say is, so I started November 4th of 2004, and Thanksgiving came, and a friend of ours that we had met, I was living with these two other guys, Kevin, who's still a good friend of mine, and this other guy, Chris, and a friend of ours invited us over for a dinner / like sleepover event, and it was her and like 2 of her girlfriends, and we all had Thanksgiving dinner, and we stayed the night, and we woke up in the morning, and the one friend that I hadn't met before, we were talking about different things, and she said, oh, you went to school for hypnosis? I want to try that out. So I took the Professional Hypnotism Manual written by John G. Kappas, and I actually just opened it up, and everybody was standing around, and this girl sitting there, and I'm reading word for word out of the book, the whole and she went into the deepest somnambulistic, like she went into a deep, and everybody, my friend, they were looking like, and I felt like I was a wizard reading from a spell book. That's what it felt like. I'm like, and this is 20 days after I started school. 20 days in. And she just asked, and I happened to have the book with me, because I was like so happy about that. I'm going to school for this. And I just read out of the book, and everything. Gave her a few positive suggestions, counted her out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. And she had no idea. She was like, what? Like, she was so deep.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, do you understand how reinforcing of my confidence and belief that I could actually use this to help people that was, that 20 days later, after doing these practicums and just reading from the book, that this person went into this completely deep trance and came out of it and had no recollection of anything that was said, or that there were people standing around. She's like, when are we going to start? I was like, we just had a 15-minute session where, what do you, it was amazing. So those are 2 interesting things, that I got taken out of a trance and I put somebody in a trance within 20 days of each other. I just had these back-to-back, just really amazing, confidence-building, reinforcing, experiences. And then the clinical residency thing with the past life regression, starting off of them being just really wild experiences that were reported to me by these people. Just it was amazing. So
incredible.
But
yeah,
the point was though,
price.
we were talking about that the skills translated from your online course to in person. So that's where that triggered that. But you were saying.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say how we cannot overestimate the value of hitting the ground running.
Right.
You started with these experiences. You did not prepare. You did not do I'm not allowed until I learn this and that, which I am guilty of. I had to study all the things into the ridiculous depths until I'm allowed to test them out. I'm walking away from that now, but that was the thing. So beautiful, beautiful. And in regards to what we started with, I think we kind of finished. It was just this one remark that from in-person to online, in my understanding, was a lot more difficult than from online to in-person.
Probably.
That's all. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Because most of my sessions have all been in person. And that's why I feel like it wasn't really that good with this client who came back to me 15 years later, who sought me out because, and I didn't insist on putting the headphones because I knew that probably would work better. But I even became so masterful at doing sessions live that I developed this thing called PACT, which I told you before, PACTS,
yeah.
where I call it personally attuned conversational transformation sessions, because some of the sessions that I was doing for my clinical residency, I was hypnotizing people who worked with me, my coworkers. I was working at a gym at the time as a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor. And the people I worked with do me, hypnotize me. And I would, at the front desk of this busy gym called Bodies in Motion in Encino, where people were coming in and out, and I'm sitting there with one of the front desk staff hypnotizing them. Or somebody else there was a back seating area that was a patio, a wooden patio that was facing the parking lot. It was a really beautiful location, but it had this huge parking lot and had a nice big wooden patio out there. And I did a session with somebody out there while people were walking. It was 10 feet from the entrance to the parking lot, and I'm doing the sessions there. And another client, she was a Pilates instructor, and she just went into the Pilates room, which are glass windows. You can see in, people can see in, we can see out. You can hear the gym music on the outside, but we're in the Pilates studio, and I'm doing a hypnosis session with her in the Pilates studio. And so I kind of developed this thing where I thought, I don't actually need to be in a clinic in a quiet place to do this. People are having these experiences in public, basically.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, hitting the ground running, so many of these things happened over and over and over again that just, that school really is, there's something magical going on there. I don't know what to say about it, but there's something really special about the energy and the training and whatever is happening with that place, because it really completely transformed my existence. And it's taken a long time. A lot of the old habits and a lot of things are difficult, but it's been a huge influence on how I've been able to get myself out of a lot of, bad psychological, mental, subconscious states.
Wonderful. Just awesome. You asked me about first clients.
Yes.
I want to ask you about the first, something that went not as expected.
Well, I mean, only really just that one that came 15 years later. I really knew that she didn't get the experience that she necessarily wanted. She wanted the whole magic that happened in those first few sessions that we did, and I knew, I felt it. There was nothing, that connection wasn't made. So to me, that was one that didn't go well. Other than that, I haven't had any sessions, fortunately, that haven't really gone strikingly well. I've always been very composed. I've always been able to improvise in the moment and not to let people know that if I feel like I made a mistake or didn't say something that should have been said. I'm not the kind of person, like, if I make a mistake, I don't say, oops, let me start that again. Or it's the way when I teach my martial arts classes, when people are moving and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, look, stop acknowledging your mistake out loud. I said, imagine if there were people watching us. I said, I make mistakes all the time when I'm doing backflips and spinning around and I miss my landing. But because of how I'm trained in this martial art of capoeira, I can land and then roll into something off the ground that looks like just a continuation of the movement I just did. It never looks like I'm falling. It just looks like I'm going into another movement. And so maybe it was part of that improvisation that I learned. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Please.
I was saying, it's not dishonesty. It's not not taking responsibility over, like it would be in real life, regular, like things that we do. It's rather breathing like jazz.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Whatever comes, you play with that, and that's the whole idea of it.
Yes. Mm. And that's what capoeira is, the martial art I'm talking about. It's the African-Brazilian martial art capoeira. And that's what the whole point is that you're supposed to just riff like jazz. And I think that it's connected to that because those cultures, have a lot of overlap. Jazz, capoeira, a lot of the African martial arts and things like that, and music. Mm-hmm. So, but that's really what it really is about. And I just took that into my practice. So I've been doing that already 14 years before I even went to the hypnotherapy school. So I had already had that as part of my makeup. So, and I also, as a young man, I never wanted to be embarrassed. So it was really cool that I learned how to cover my mistakes when I was doing these crazy athletic acrobatic things that people never noticed. They were just like, how do you never make mistakes? And I was like, it's not that I don't. I just know how to cover them I just know how to go into. And I suppose it may not actually really be I think that's what the training is for, that nothing really is a mistake, because nothing is perfect, in a combat or in a game, or, or even in dancing. So, and that's, the martial art is a dance, it's a martial art and a game. So, the riffing, the improvising.
Yeah, and the realization that definition of life probably is the fact that there is no, one right answer to anything. And, just like definition of intact mind is ability to hold two opposite beliefs at once. Yeah. I'm going free association, unnecessary. But I did want to tell you that I had a ridiculous snafu at the very beginning.
Sure, please.
My very first practice client. First of all, I'm not understanding how much help that girl needs. She's actually not just addicted, but currently on something, and she doesn't tell me, and I don't know I only rewatched the recording, and then I understood. I don't know what to look for to see that, even though she's asked. Yeah, and I proceed with the session, and I don't reframe it enough for her to feel any sort of safety. And I make it a point to state, okay, and now let's begin.
Okay.
To which the girl just drops her computer.
What?
She just dropped it off and never, it disconnected and never answered another phone call.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had that one. I had to run away at one point. No. But they teach us very early in the school that mistakes like this, actual mistakes, you will make only once. Not seeing, her actual state, and not taking real time, and not waiting for true feedback of her actually being there. Yeah. Well,
that's amazing.
That's one way to learn, and I have to tell you, extremely effective. Extremely effective. Yeah, no, I never did it again. Okay. Ah.
Wow. So let me ask you this question just to segue into this, like take it a different direction. I want to is there anything in particular that you specialize in your practice? Like, is there some one thing, a lot of times people will focus on a niche. Like some people just focus on smoking cessation. Some people uh, focus on sports performance hypnosis. So, some people focus on pain relief or PTSD. Is there anything that you or no?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. I was in a wonderful and blessed, to be in a unique position of having this second year of HMI, and I started using it rather early as a bridge between different modalities.
Yeah.
So it's not the particular one thing that I do most of the time. It's one type of client that I do most of the time. And it's the client that's already in therapy,
right,
for whom the question, now what, came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's never instead of therapy. It's never instead of what they're doing. It's never despite what they're doing. It's never as opposed to what they're doing. It is to help. It is to help and to, to give them this clear destinational state. And aside from that, I love. I don't have enough, and I'm hoping to get a lot more. I love doing groups in facilities, helping people beat addiction. I love doing those. I have an actual program, logical sort of concession that I take them through. It is very, very body oriented. It's no longer body mind. Okay, I'm lying. It is body mind, but I'm coming from bottom up fully. Yeah. The first physiological safety, and then everything else. And these people really, really need it, and they're the best. They're the best client. The difference in their life is so vast that it gives me shivers every time. They're motivated. They're already there. They're really truly working on it. And
do you feel like such structure? Does your work in architecture influence any way that you practice hypnosis?
It does. It really, truly does. In some ways, no. Let's start with the fully positive. I have this ability to, just like in my program when I was working and drafted the building. You roll your mouse and you zoom out to see the thing from every position possible. From as far away as you want to see the full picture, right? Or from as up close as you want to see the little part in detail. That thing, that ability to zoom in or out constantly, I credit everything I ever did positive for people to that ability. And I realized also how much of a fractal that thing is. It doesn't matter how much you zoom in to a certain situation in a person's life. It actually repeats something bigger and something bigger and something bigger. So it's the same sort of a thing from two sides. Yeah. So that is the first and foremost, and then of course, just ability to see the structure and obviously it's cool that it's far from solid. The structure of us, of our mind, of our being.
Yeah.
But the ability to see it and to see how many how many things play into it, really, really helps. structural integrity is what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
Having this framework helps. And yes, I want to say that having this framework also made sure that I came from everything from top, as in from I needed to understand first and foremost, and then I arrived at
I've heard that a
yeah.
lot of people who like are in some people in architecture and engineering, or like civil engineering, they just have a certain approach to solving problems in a certain way. And even I heard some statistic recently, I'm not sure what it was, but they said that a large number of people who are either in architecture or engineering, I think it was one or the other, but that have a really great way of being able to observe the invisible structure of the economic system, and are able to basically find ways to stabilize their life. May not necessarily be rich, but they said that there was like some large amount of them who were wildly successful, not necessarily from working in architecture or design or engineering, but somehow able to structure things in a certain way. And I that's why I really wanted to ask that question, if it affected your approach in hypnosis, because there's even a guy named Scott Onstott who has some videos online called Secrets in Plain Sight, and he came from an architectural background, and he just puts together this mind-blowing 3-hour presentation where he shows that there are like numerical systems all over the world that are built into the structure of buildings and everything like that.
Yeah, there's infinite beauty in that. So I started there. I always needed to come from everything from a point of view. I think there is always a right answer. I need to understand and figure it out. If I don't know the right answer, if there are two options, that just means I don't know enough. And, that's so heated from that point. And, but ability to zoom out helped me in the end, understand that, hey, no, not necessarily everything is so heavily structured, and not necessarily everything needs to have an exact answer to be precise, to be understood, felt, and useful. Okay, so that's why my main thing right now is to come from the body, from the bottom. Like yes, thoughts, yes, mindset, yes, of course, absolutely. Now, where do we actually live, and what do we actually truly feel? Okay, let's start with that, and things that are a lot more reachable from that side. And it doesn't mean that there is a right side. We have different structures, and we are also very, very different people. For someone starting from the top is the only real way to start from. Or someone starting from the side of emotions, or side of the actual physical body. Like, for everyone, there's own way, but it's only a way. It's only a door into the same sort of complex structure of our being. So wherever you started, and yes, I do believe firmly that you should be starting with the door that's nearest to you, that's most accessible to you. Whatever you started, any adjustment, any adjustment that you make will ripple out into the whole system, and possibly make other doors more reachable, if you even need them. Sometimes just one modality, just one way, just takes care of everything. I don't know. I've never seen that, but I want to believe that sometimes it does.
How do you make? Well, was there something else you were going to say? Because I have another question.
No, please go ahead.
What's one of the main ways that you feel like people need to feel safe? What kind of reassurances, or what kind of processes do you go through? Because you mentioned that, and you're talking about starting with the body, and just how the snafu that you had with the client, not making them feel safe. Like how? So what is it that you feel like you don't have to give any of Sonya's secrets, but what is the way, like, or what is one underlying thing that you find that helps make people feel safe, so that the session will be as effective as possible?
Yeah. There is. Yeah, it's not safety on mental level, which of course is helpful. It's not, it's not the safety on like, making sure that everything is actually okay. And discussing it on the safety of understanding, not the safety on the, even like psychological level, because that one is forced if the basic one is not met. And that's the safety of physiological safety. This, I believe, is where everything starts. When your body is, I have a friend who has the best metaphor there. He says, you do not rearrange furniture when a house is on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, and I don't believe there's a better metaphor here to say everything that needs to be said. And like, what are you going to do with all other aspects when the person is sitting there in the like actual physiological, like not like unsafe place?
Yeah.
What other than like providing them with that safety first and foremost?
Okay.
How you can reach it, and as far as technique, I don't know. I don't think of specific technique any longer. I actually, sort of, like we said earlier, I go with the person that's in front of me,
But I can agree with that, just because I don't think that body, mind, and spirit are separate, and just the physical body is. I know this is a little bit different than what you were saying, but it's the closest door that we have for access.
We do. Yes, it is. It's not the only one. It's not the right one, but it's the closest one most of the time. Unless there is, again, different type of nervous systems have a different, have a different situation. But yeah, for most of us, that is true. And for all of us, it's necessary. Okay, no matter where you start, like this aspect is necessary for well-being. I wanted to say something else. I forgot what. So I guess if it's important, it's going to come back.
Well.
Oh, co-regulation. I wanted to mention that, as a separate thing. No matter what I would do to create safety for a person, no matter what, I would feel this particular person need. The big part of me makes sure that I am grounded, that I am in the state of safety, of presence, because just being next to a regulated system helps the system. Yeah. We are not singular creatures. We are not singular creatures. We're born to be in the close interchange, exchange with another. So yeah, and I use that hugely.
It just reminds me of tuning forks, or like a guitar string. If you hit a note, it'll make the note that's tuned or resonating with it start to vibrate as well.
Yeah.
Wow. So Sonya, we've gone over an hour here. I didn't think that would happen, but I let it flow. How, if at all, do you want anybody to reach out to you? We're gonna keep doing this series if it's good for you, but I really definitely think that we should. And this is a nice warm up here. But what's the best way for people to reach you?
Yes, absolutely. We'll do the series, and the best way right now to reach me would be Sonya Fix Hypnotherapy on both Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok. I do not put anything out yet. I promise I will start at some point, but I don't put anything out yet up until this point at least. But I'm always checking, and I will always respond to direct communication.
And I will put all of those links in the show notes for the podcast so people can have easy access to it as well.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. It was truly, truly my pleasure. I really hope that we continue this conversation for as long as we will. Yeah.
Excellent. Beautiful. All right, everybody. That was Sonya, and we are.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're awesome. This was great. I'm really glad about this. This is a good start. A nice slow, chill pace, but there's certainly going to be some cool things coming up, everybody. So check it out, Sonya.
Fix.
Yeah, Sonya Fix. Is it hypnosis or hypnotherapy?
Hypnotherapy. Sonya Fix hypnotherapy. Yeah.
And again, I'll put that in the show notes. All right, everybody. Be well.